whenever this kind of stuff happens, there's two different perspectives to take, right? There's this is just what happens in the regular season. Like, the Lakers, for instance, playing a really light stretch of their schedule, building some bad habits, kind of operating at a different speed. And then Phoenix just played Oklahoma City and Denver, right? So like they've been in the trenches for about a week now. They're operating at like a higher level of competitiveness and physicality than the Lakers are. Some kind of stuff will just happen like this in the regular season, whatever, like just move on. You're 15-5. That's one attitude to have, right? But then the other side of this is like, there were some real basketball dynamics at play in this game that we've seen before from this version of this Lakers team against similar types of opponents, which at least makes it worth acknowledging as a potential vulnerability with this team. So what do the Suns do that's different than most NBA teams? They're big and physical and athletic on the perimeter. They got guys that they can put on LeBron and on Luka that make them uncomfortable, make things harder for them, and on Austin as well. They get up into you with ball pressure. They try to punk you. They try to physically dominate you. And it's worth mentioning, this is not the first time that we've seen these Lakers succumb to that type of pressure and physicality. We saw it against the Thunder about, 3 weeks ago. We saw it against the Timberwolves in the first round last year. It is a legitimate vulnerability with this team. Now, to be clear, the Lakers are absolutely capable of beating this type of team. The Lakers have responded to their first round loss to the Timberwolves by returning the favor at regular season style, but they've dominated the Timberwolves to start this season. They beat them with Luka in Austin. They beat them with just Austin in Minnesota. The Lakers last year had a couple of great games against the Thunder. Before Luka fouled out, got himself ejected, it looked like they were going to go 2-0 against the Thunder in the regular season last year. The same Thunder that's a transcendently great defense. They handled the pressure, didn't turn the basketball over, moved the ball through Oklahoma City's defense, got great shots, knocked them down. They kicked their ass in one of those two games. What's the difference? What's the difference between the 2 wins against Minnesota this year, the 1 win against Oklahoma City last year, and the impressive performance against Oklahoma City before Luka gets ejected versus the absolute thrashing they took from the Thunder this year, the absolute thrashing they took from the Suns this year, and the embarrassing performance in round 1 against the Timberwolves back in April? What's the difference between those two outcomes? It's all about their ball handlers and the way they manage the pressure. In the losses, Austin and Luka have been bad. They've turned the ball over. They've looked flustered. They've lost control of the game in transition, and they've gotten run off the floor. In the wins, they've methodically handled the pressure. They've made good reads. They've scored the ball. And they've kept control of the pace of the game, kept things in the half court, and they've looked great. So to be clear, vulnerability is not the same as a death sentence. It's just about acknowledging a weakness, being aware that it's the demon you have to conquer if you want to reach your ultimate goals. In a 7-game series, if you toast off a game or two where you turn the ball over 25 times and give up 35 points in transition, that can be a lot to overcome. I just think this is worth mentioning because when you talk about the conversation surrounding the potential trade market for the Lakers this year, like I too, like many others, believe that if the Lakers can get a legit starting caliber small forward, someone like a Herb Jones or an Andrew Wiggins, if they can pull that off, I think they become one of the legitimate contenders in the league. I think they're on the same tier with Houston and Denver as a team that is a legit upset threat against OKC if we all acknowledge that OKC is the clear number 1. I think they're a trade away from that. But that's just because that sort of guy can help them on defense and help them athletically and help anchor some of their best lineups so that they have a clear 5 that they can go to at the end of games. That does nothing to alleviate this specific vulnerability against this specific type of opponent. This is a demon that Austin and Luka have to conquer for them to work together as a duo moving forward. And in the short term for LeBron as well, as he for at least this year and maybe next year as he's part of this system. Having a Herb Jones on the floor isn't going to matter if Austin and Luka can't take care of the ball against big physical athletic perimeter defenders. You know, we talk about this concept a lot on this show, but like basketball too often is presented in absolutes. Like, oh, this team can't do that. Or this player can't do this. Or this team sucks at defense. Or this guy can't shoot. And the reality is all that stuff is determined night to night. Like nobody cares if you think Lou Dort can't shoot if he's making the big threes that save his team in a big playoff game like he did a couple times last year. Nobody cares if you don't think the Denver Nuggets can play defense. If they suddenly defend like a champion in 2023 on their way to hoisting the trophy. Nobody cares if you got punked by the Timberwolves in the first round. Nobody cares, like Austin Reaves, for example. Like right now he's viewed as a bad playoff player because of what happened against Minnesota. After 2023, you're like, oh my God, 8 20-point playoff games. This dude's a playoff riser. Like it's all night to night. It's all, what have you done for me lately? The narrative is just the narrative. That's for guys like me to talk about. That's not the same as what happens when you throw the ball up at center court. So if you're the Lakers, it doesn't matter if you got punked by the Timberwolves in April and you got punked by the Thunder in November and you got punked by the Suns in December. If you turn around in April and you face one of those teams and you take care of the basketball and you handle the ball pressure and you pass through their defense and you score and knock down shots off of the attention you draw, which we know they can do because we've seen them do it to Minnesota this season. We saw them do it to Oklahoma City last season. They are capable, but they are also capable of succumbing to it. That's going to be the determining factor of this Lakers team and what they can achieve this year. Can they conquer those demons? Making that sort of trade for a Herb Jones or an Andrew Wiggins, that will bolster your talent level. That will define some of your best lineups. That will give you better roster balance. That will make you better defensively. That'll make you better on the glass. That'll make you more athletic in transition. Those things will certainly help. But whether or not they beat Oklahoma City or whether or not they can handle a first-round matchup with a Minnesota or a random regular season game against Phoenix, or hell, if Phoenix jumps up to 7 and the Lakers get the 2 seed and you end up facing them in the first round, if the Lakers are going to beat that sort of team, that is going to come down to their stars and them conquering the demon of being able to handle that ball pressure and not turn the basketball over. The beautiful thing about the game of basketball is you almost always get another chance to prove yourself. You live to fight another day. The Lakers will play Phoenix again on December 23rd. Go into Phoenix, take care of the basketball, play better on offense, beat those dudes. No one's going to give a damn what happened on December 1st. The Lakers will play some good teams on this road trip. Toronto's a good basketball team, another big physical athletic team that likes to run the floor in transition. They're going to present a challenge on Thursday night. That'll be another opportunity, right? Couple of weeks from now, the Lakers might get San Antonio and Oklahoma City in the in-season tournament. San Antonio, big physical perimeter team. Oklahoma City is the rematch of that destructive blowout they experienced in November. So they are going to get more chances throughout this season to try to address this. And inevitably, probably in the first round, at the very latest by the second or third round, they're going to face one of these teams that's big and physical on the perimeter that can get up in them and make their guys uncomfortable. And they're going to have to conquer that demon. That is separate from any roster concern. That is the conquering that this Lakers team needs to do in order to reach their goals.